Alright, y'all, back again with another video. And I intended to do this video yesterday, but I got a little busy, and so I wasn't able to do this. I kind of wanted you guys to have this yesterday and marinate on that over the day, over night, and then see what you thought about it. But anywho, we ain't gonna get into that. But as the title says, this is going to be about Point Zoe versus Point Zion. And I probably should have done this video a while ago. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about it. I just so happen to be doing DoorDash to get some money for a trip I'm trying to make later this month. And the thought just hit me while I was, delivering. I was like, damn, why haven't I thought about that? So I go ahead and tell you guys right now, a lot of y'all not going to agree with what I have to say here, and that's cool. But I'm here to offer a different opinion, a unique opinion perspective through my lens, my eyes, and that don't necessarily mean I'm right, but this is what my viewpoint of the subject is. Now, let me go ahead and say this is not going to be a bash Zoe or Zion video, like both. I think they're going to be great players in their prime. Would love to see them stick together and win championships together. I think that would be amazing. Having said all that, Point Zion is a beast. Uh, he's weird. He's one of the few guys in the league that can't shoot with the ball, but forces defenders to have to come out and physically guard him because he has to be slowed down in his pursuit. So someone has to be up on him with the ball so he don't get a full head of steam, and they have to direct him or steer him near the shot blocker. Nobody else can do that. You got Russell Westbrook who can't really shoot, and yet defenders will build a wall. Giannis who can't shoot, yet he's freakishly athletic, but they'll just build a wall. The teams will build a wall to some degree with Zion, but because he's so good at finessing, that's not really that effective. So what you have to do is you have to play up on him. You have to steer him the direction of your big, your shot blocker, preferably right, and pray. that's the whole thing with him. Zoe is a little bit different. Zoe is your old school traditional point guard in the sense of half court that he gets to get dribble penetration, through pick and roll or whatever, and he's looking to make the optimal pass. Once he's got his guy in jail, he's gonna pick the best shot. Do I need to take the mid range? Do I need to pass to my athletic big? He's gonna read what the defense has done at that point and make the best decision. Whether that means he needs to attack or not, okay? He's a little bit different. Zion isn't quite the passer that Zoe is, but Zoe don't draw the threat that Zion does. Zoe can make passes that Zion clearly cannot. He also has the best handle on the team. But Zion can get and score in situations that Zoe could never dream of, right? And he flexes the defense in ways that Zoe can't. Um, Zoe is also better in tight place passing. I don't think Zion will ever be quite that good at that, but Zoe is like already one of the best I've ever seen at just like squeezing the ball in tight spaces and making a play for another guy on this team to get a shot or get a easy shot. It's really remarkable to look at times, and I don't think he gets enough credit for his passing gift because sometimes those ain't the most flashiest. But I agree with both. I agree with Point Zion, and I also agree with Zoe playing or running point guard. What I think you have to have is a healthy balance of the two. I've told you guys before. I've not seen too many like superb all star like superstar level talents that don't get the ball. Like it just doesn't happen. And I think people that think Zoe should point guard the entire game and the ball should never leave his hands other than making play. I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that's right. I don't think that's coming from a place of any kind of historical context. I wouldn't take anyone saying that shit serious. What I do think is you need the healthy balance. I think point guard Zion needs to be a thing, definitely, and point guard Zoe needs to be a thing, and they need to be a thing for different reasons. Um, I think one of the biggest reasons is the biggest weakness on this team is David Griffin. Yes, biggest reason on this team is the weakness of David Griffin because this motherfucker cannot construct rosters worth the shit. Otherwise, you would know you need a stretch five and more shooters around to make this work better for everybody. And that also includes Brandon Ingram, who this video isn't about. But one of the biggest weaknesses is floor spacing and paint clogging, which is basically the same thing, but I'm just, hammering down the specifics. Okay? Even the other night when we had Zoe running point guard, the paint was clogged, okay? The paint was clogged. And somehow they won that game despite that, and against a team that likes to shoot a ton of threes. The problem with the team is the paint, or the packing of the paint. If you pull Zion out and give him the ball, that takes one of the reasons for the paint clogging out. Now you just have to deal with Steven Adams and the other guy. So he has to have the ball. It also weaponizes and makes the most use of Lonzo as a floor spacer with his shooting. So Zion has to have the ball. He's going to have the ball. He literally mitigates or, limits one of the biggest weaknesses of the team. And for the reasons I outlined at the beginning part of this video, you can see how that'll have a tangible effect on everybody else. So there needs to be a healthy balance. But I think more importantly here, there needs to be a dichotomy or system between Zoe and Zion in a pick and roll. Now, JJ Redick, about a month or so ago, he did one of his old men in the threes with Zion, and they was talking about how they were killing Memphis in the pick and roll between those two, and how a lot of teams just are struggling to guard that. Well, JJ ain't even the shooter that Lonzo is right now, and I know, he was Zoe in the interview from the other game Sunday was talking about how they're trying to get him to run off the screens, floppy pick roll. They're trying to basically give him the JJ Redick play right treatment. They're trying to get him moving off the ball and catch and shoot situations to get him more shot attempts and to basically feature him more in the offense, which a lot of people complained about. They're not running enough plays for him. Well, this was Stan saying, look, we got to get him more plays now because we don't have JJ. Great. They probably should have done this at the beginning of the year, but whatever. But here's my thing. Zion, Zoe, Zion pick and roll is going to be very good regardless, because Zoe can play make and figure things out with Zion. They can make that work. And we know for sure he can catch Zoe's passes. But the flip side of that, too, is the dichotomy that you had with JJ and Zion now flips to Zoe and Zion. And now you can use that more effectively. Dribble handoffs into jump shots, coming off of picks set by Zion for Zoe to get jump shots. Pick and roll game where you got, okay, you deny the screen, you deny the pick. Zion gets in the post, and now he's backing his man down on a mismatch. So now he's drawing help. He's got the help of the center, and now Zoe's man has to try to help off. Zoe's going to reposition. All Zion's got to do is give him the ball, and he gets the jump shot. That's the evolution of these two in the two-man game. They're going to be playing point guard simultaneously. They're going to have to. That's how you're going to get the most out of both of them on this team. But that damage that they're going to do is going to flex the floor to their side, the strong side of the court, which is going to open up the court for Brandon Ingram. So, for me anyway, you have to play both of them at point guard. There's too much benefit to both. And quite frankly, I think the two-man game between them has to develop. And that's going to have to develop with both of them in a pick and roll with each other. They're going to have to be able, they got seamless chemistry when it comes to full court lob passing and just cutting. They understand it, and JJ has even said that he has that same thing that Blake and DeAndre Jordan had with CP3, where you just had to look, you just automatically knew. That kind of stuff takes years, but they just seamlessly have it. They were meant to play together. And so by me saying this, I don't have an issue with point guard Zion. I don't have an issue with point guard Zoe. I just think we need to play it better. We need to run the team focused around those two dynamically on the offensive side. This is it's the best that you could do given the fact that you don't really have the parts that you need. So you're going to have to make it work. Now, here's the controversy part. This part where y'all going to bash me in the comment section. I'm ready for it. Don't bother me. I think if we're going to look at this from a position standpoint, this team has to be looked at from point guard Zion, shooting guard Zoe, small forward Bi, and then these are the other two spots you have to fill. I get it. Zoe's not a two guard. He passes. He's supposed to be a spot up shooter. Look, don't fall in love with the title. The title means nothing. I could call Zoe a two guard, for instance. I'll give you a prime example. LeBron is the small forward, but what is his role on the team? He's a point guard. He is the point guard even though he's a three. Don't fall in love with the title, okay? The title means absolutely nothing. He plays a point guard role, okay? Zion at the one, at the point guard, has nothing to do with what his role is on the team, okay? It's just simple position. I think this is going to be the order of operations because Zoe is your best shooter, so I kind of want him on the edge anyway. But Zion is physically bigger than every other guard in the league. Now, not in terms of verticality, but physicality. What point guard can stop him? None. None. So what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to switch. You're going to force the defense to have to automatically switch and put someone out there on him that cannot hope to contain him. Someone who is not comfortable guarding out on the perimeter. Now, there's some teams that have some guys that could do that, but for the most part, most teams don't have that. When you force your defense to have to switch and adjust to you, that is what? An advantage. I'm going to play him at the one. Let me get these power forwards out here who can't, guard on the perimeter that well on Zion. Let me force a point guard in a position that he's not comfortable with too. Now we can start breaking down this team, okay? If you're saying your core is these three guys, Zion, So, and Bi, now you can start to build around what you need between your other two guys. It's going to make your job that much more easy. But again, let's just say, hypothetically, we got an Aaron Gordon, right? Just because you got Aaron Gordon playing the four doesn't mean that Zion won't play the four on possessions. And it doesn't mean that you won't have Lonzo actually dribbling the ball up, getting the set going, and then, getting into the action. You know what I'm saying? Don't fall in love with the title. Fall in love with the role, okay? The role is what you're going to get the most value out of from the player anyway. They have to be able to operate within their role. I still think Lonzo is going to be a great player regardless of where you put him because that's what great players do. Same thing with Zion. Now, in the interest of fairness, do I think the Pelicans are going to do right to get this team what they need? Absolutely not. I truly don't. I really don't. But I think this is the best going forward for the team. The main thing here is Zoe and Zion have to be on the same page. I think those two being on the same page will help everybody else. But you're going to need some floor spacing. Okay, and again, that doesn't mean that Zion won't play four, won't guard four. That's just to organize things and to get things flowing in their proper perspective. The main thing we want to do on the court is we want to fish for disadvantages in opposing team's defense and capitalize on it. Okay, period. Now, I don't like Zion guarding on a perimeter, which is why on defense I would want him to play more of the three or the four. I think the threes are a little too fast. I think the fours are more in his line, so defensively he definitely is going to have to learn to pick up and guard the fours. And he's still young. He's still got to develop that stuff and get better, But I think as far as this team is concerned, he has to be at the one. It's unfortunate, but he has to be at the one. He has the guard skill set. He should be playing point guard. He doesn't have floor spacing, so you can't get him in positions like you would want to. So you're gonna have to play him that way. Now, what I am looking forward to is this offseason. If the Pelicans do decide to pay Lonzo and keep Lonzo, right? His role has to increase on the team. It's already going to increase because Stan said he's going to have to. He's been running this stuff for him. He's going to have to run this stuff for him because he's the best shooter. You got to get him going. He's your third guy. You can't just have your third guy giving you 14, 5, and 4, you know, or 14, 6, and 4. Like, he's your best shooter. He's got to be in that 17 to 18 point range. So I'm looking, that's going to be one of the things I'm going to look at. Are they going to run a whole lot of high pick and roll to get him, pick and roll, okay, pull up jump shot? He took a very long three the other night against Houston, and I really liked that. They even put Jackson Hayes in the post to give a pass to Zoe to get him moving for the three. I like that. Okay. And I think people are so fixated on he has to have the ball. He's a great player. To showcase his entire skill set, why do you only want him on the ball? You see what I'm saying? I want him with the ball and I want him without the ball. I want him being a threat all over the court. Look at Steph Curry. Steph Curry with the shot. Steph Curry with 40-inch vertical. Okay, is Steph Curry always on the ball? No, Steph Curry's moving. He's harder to guard. We'll go back to the prototype, Reggie Miller. Did Reggie Miller stay on the ball the entire game? No, he was always running. I remember Gary Payton and all these other guys talking about they hated playing Reggie because he never stopped fucking moving. That's the point. What did LeVar always say about Lonzo? They don't get tired. They always running, running, running. That's how I trained them. What did Lonzo say the other night? I got a little bit tired because I ain't played, in that first quarter. But after that, I was good. Okay, why do you want him dribble, dribble, dribble? Okay, horns. Yes, this is, when you see this is horns. He's done this ever since he was in LA, even now. This is horns. Just FYI. Horns is when you got the guys, you got your 4 and your 5, they come up and post up on the elbows of the free throw line. And or sometimes they could run high horns. They could put them out on the perimeter too. But 9 times out of 10, when you see horns in an NBA game, they're on the elbow points of the free throw line. But why do you want to see him run horns the entire game? I don't want to see him run horns the entire game. Let that man run around, get a catch and shoot opportunity, and get some easy shots. That could be the difference between him being a 38, 39% three-point shooter to being a like 43, 44% free throw shooter. I mean, three-point shooter. And what does that mean? More money. Okay? Versatility, versatility, versatility. That's my mindset. And I'm always going to preach versatility. Get the man moving. You guys are talking about, well, he just sits there, he just stands for the ball. Well, this is how we fix it. Get someone else who can hold the ball and can command the offense and get him moving. Get him moving and get extra shots. And then now you have to get Zion in the mindset of, okay, if Zoe cuts, y'all were worried about, okay, well, they're not finding the cutters. Some of these guys ain't trained to find cutters. They're not that guy. Zoe can do it because that's what Zoe's done his whole life. But you got to develop. You can't just monopolize Zoe as the only player that needs to develop. This is player development for the team. You have to train these guys to go hit the open cutter. James Johnson hit the open cutter Sunday night. But he's a vet. He understands that. Bledsoe, but 9 times out of 10 on most teams, hell, if you go look at the Lakers, LeBron would always hit the open cutter. You ain't have to worry about it. If Zoe cut, bam, got the ball. B.I. cut, he got the ball. You gotta have guys trained into that. And Zion, for the most part, he understands, but you gotta get him doing it. And then you gotta get Zoe in the mindset, I gotta be moving without the ball. Right now, he hadn't been doing that. But if Stan is saying what he's saying and Zoe's saying what he's saying, they're gonna do this, you can expect him to be moving off the ball a little bit more. That's gonna help on the point Zion aspect, but it's also gonna help with Zoe's efficiency numbers. He's still only shooting 43%, which is not bad, but he needs to be around 44, no, not 44, 45 to about 46 and a half, 47. That'd be pretty good. If he can get 48, that's fantastic. But in order to get the most out of him offensively, he's going to have to play off the ball and move too. Okay, yes, I want him to run point guard. I want him to initiate offense and do things too, and he will do that, I'm sure. But the main thing is we got to make the most out of what we got. Okay, you may want to make an omelet. You don't have the stuff to make an omelet, so all you do is make scrambled eggs. Okay, because that's all you got is salt and pepper. Are you gonna sit there and not eat because you can't make an omelet, or are you gonna sit there, suck it up, and eat your eggs? Just saying, you got to make the most out of the situation with what you got, with who you have. That's coaching. That's team building. That's the way you play the game. Okay? But that's all I got. Y'all have a good one. Peace.